improvements that we've got done this year. Crack seal by County Highway. We actually did more than what Pavement Solutions did this year. Pavement Solutions had 4.5 miles. Micro seal by Pavement Solutions was 2.5 miles. And then Reese Riley has got a total under community crossings of 15.2 miles. They've got an 800 west done, and they've got the truck route done also. The 650 north, 700 north, and 500 west down around 218. That one's been all done and repaved. They're not going to do the lake cut through 1150 west, Bicycle Bridge Road, 1200 west. They're not going to do that one until they pave out State Road 18, because what they're fearful of is that their own truck traffic will ruin some of that road when they're carrying hot mix into 18. So that will be done here hopefully by November. I don't know, we'll see where we're at. But that's the only one that's not done for sure yet. So anyway, and we're actually at a grand total of 109.2 miles, and we're actually over that now. Since I put together this, we've done a little bit more crack sealing ourselves. So you know, we had over 110 miles done for the year, which I think is pretty commendable, really.
That's pretty good grass summer to do it too.
The map shows what color on this map, I guess that's throughout the county, so much appreciated.
And the one thing too we did, we had Ed and I come in and readjust and look at our chip box, and that helped a lot in terms of getting a more uniform spread and the slower speeds too. So we didn't have quite the problem that we had last year earlier, so we've gotten a little bit better with it. The other one that I wanted to do was to bring you up to date on our NVH restricted funds. We're supposed to be spending 50% of our NVH money on what the state legislature considers to be road improvements, reconstruction, construction. Essentially, what I gave Beth were the last 2 months, being July and August. In July and August, because of the chip seal, obviously really bumped up the expense cost to $701,000, and so essentially the total restricted money that we've spent so far is just a little over $1 million. And if you look at what money we've taken in so far, or excuse me, not taken in, but what money we've spent so far this year, we're right at $2 million, just a little less than $2 million of what our total expenses have been for motor vehicle highway. That's split into restricted and regular. And so essentially, we're supposed to be at 50%. And you know, right now, we're at 54.2%. Now, for the rest of the 4 months of the year, I don't know. We'll see where we're at and how that comes out. And again, in terms of there will still be some more bills, I think, that will be attributed to chip and seal. We've still got Reese Riley's bill for 800 West to come in. We've got the other one I just talked about, a little lake, I call it lake cut through, going to Monticello, going to the lake at 1150 West, 1200 West. That's got to come in terms of money. So we're running pretty good, I think. We'll see at the end of the year how we come out, but we're not doing too bad in terms of where we're at. So basically, I think we've done well as far as road improvements, and our expenditures are close to what they need to be.
Good. Anything else, Paul?
Nope, that's it.
Anybody got any questions for Paul while he's here? Paul, you can sneak out.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Alright, let's see here. Catching up here, 9:45, Beth Roberts, CNC Beach subdivision concerns.
Morning.
Good morning.
Sorry. I guess my concern is know where the subdivision, the easement is for ours, because it goes all the way up to Lower Lake Shore Drive. It comes out at 10748 and goes all the way down to CNC Beach Drive to the lake. What my issue is we're having a problem with one of the neighbors who's coming over onto the easement and crossing over on our property. And now, and I know this is a civil issue right here, but he is now damaged my property. So with the subdivisions and him wanting access to the lake, he says, over on CNC Beach, because there's a CNC Beach access and there is a Sunset Park access. He has access to the Sunset Park on Circle Drive, and we have access to CNC Beach on our Shady Lane. He thinks it's a public access to walk down, because every time when he wants to use the easement, he has to cross over on our property. And I've had the sheriff's department out there several times, and they refer us to code of area plan, and I just don't know what to do with this, because it's every time that he puts, and I have to tell you this part of it, every time he puts a tenant in the home, I bring my concerns to the health department, or I go to area plan, and that's when he has an issue, and he will, and I wanna show you these pictures right here is what happened this last time.
You're good. And yours can come up on that slide.
Here's, for both of you, just kind of doubles, yeah, that way you guys can have it. When I had the sheriff's department out there last time, the DNR official was out there, and the initial captain was out there.
You was here before last year, right?
No, this was probably 2.5 years ago.
2.5 years ago.
He has a tenant in there now, and there's nothing that's blocking the easement, and we've maintained that easement, which is not the issue. I've mowed it for like the last 5 years, but he threw all that wood out there, and it rolled down and damaged the front of the car. And that's a pretty good sized log. So,
To me, that's a civil issue.
I understand
Whether
that.
he damaged your vehicle.
I mean, I'm not bringing that concern to you, I'm just telling you that's what it's got to this point where we're trying to resolve an issue on what to do and how to handle this, because, he cut a hole, if you can see right there, where the wood is stacked, he's cut a hole, see where the sliding glass door is right back there. He cut a hole in his fence so he can have access to come down through the easement, and he still has to cross over on our property regardless. So, because when you go down Shady Lane, you're still crossing over on our property to go down Shady Lane to have access to the beach down there on CNC Beach. When in reality, that house right there, he owns that house, but if you are on Circle Drive, there is an easement for Lake Freeman, to get to the lake right there. He insists on using the easement in between where our garage is, down through our driveway, and then down Shady Lane. But we've gotta have some type of resolution, because now it's got to the point where he's thrown the wood, and now it's gone down to where it's damaged the car. And I do realize that is a civil issue, but I did not want it to have to get to that point. And I'm coming to you guys to know what to do with this problem.
Who's the easement belong to?
It's a county highway, road. If you look in the right side there where it says green, it's a road right away, which would be, probably in the 40s when they put this in, so future road expansion.
So it's deeded to the county?
That's, Donnie and I have looked into this, the original plan from 1942, and there's no language stating, that she is correct, this is a separate, division from, Mr. Sherman's, which is north, but we don't have the wording from 1942 that states, you know, we just know that it's a county, road right-of-way easement.
You say it's not, Donnie?
It's just an 18-foot easement on there, they have it drawn on with a gate. We don't know who it belongs to. I've looked clear back in the transfer books to the 40s when they first done the subdivision, and can't find, it just says subject to easements, it doesn't describe the easement at all.
Cause when you come out and look,
I
you
mean, I
know,
don't know, you have to go, have
Yeah,
it with
that's-
the lake, or something like that, but it's not described as a road on the plat. I mean, there's roads T into it, going north and south, but there's nothing.
any access to utilities, cause if you come down Shady Lane, it's a dead end, there's the utility access, because it'll butt up against Circle Drive, and, Shady Lane has been cut off as a dead end. But when you go up beside our garage, and it'll go all the way up to Lower Lake Shore Drive, I mean, it's a wooded area, and there's no access for utilities up there. And then right beside where, in between our garage and where you see in the pictures, I mean, I've always mowed it, maintained it, and I don't care to do that, that's not the problem. The problem is with him cutting his fence and coming over, and, I mean, I have a hard enough time keeping my dog's junk picked up, and he'll bring his dogs over and throw the cigarette butts and let his dogs do their thing, and I just want this issue resolved on what to do with it, because
You have a no trespassing
So on
sign put up?
Beacon, it shows it as a
that's
road,
what
is that what
the
you're
DNR
saying?
official
Yeah,
had
that's,
stated.
that's the beacon document.
And I just feel that would be inviting more issues, because if I just leave it alone with that, because what his issue is because I report the house because it doesn't have the foundation and all the other issues with it, when he puts a tenant in there, and I report it to the health department, or I take it to the area plan, then he gets upset, and then that's when he has his little temper tantrum.
Sounds like you guys got a love-hate relationship, you love to hate each other.
Well, that's true.
Seems to me if you put up a no trespassing sign, and you put up a trail camera, you're getting caught on your property, and you turn it into the sheriff's department. After he pays so many fines, you might get the clue. But are you doing the same thing to him, and doing things to him?
No.
So, to me, this is all civil, and I don't think Commissioner's got much of a dog in this fight, you did?
No, easements are,
Especially if you don't know who it
yeah,
belongs to.
it's 18 feet wide, it can't be a street. And it's obviously not being maintained by the county. I think, you know, that's as good as advice as any, is the trespass is the issue, is the one that you can, stop it on, is to be able to
But
prove.
with all due respect, he already doesn't care, and he already
Well-
has done what he's wanted to do as far as throwing the wood out there, damaging the vehicle. The no trespass sign's not gonna stop him.
So I got a question, if she puts a no trespassing sign, what, can he put a no trespassing sign on his side?
Yes.
Okay, so my solution to this was last week was not knowing whose easement it is or right of way it is, and we don't, 1942, there was nothing officially. I said clear everything from easement. If he's throwing wood, get the wood out of there. I mean, I don't know what else the
So we
solution
don't have
would be.
jurisdiction on it, because we don't own it. We don't
Right,
know who
so-
owns it.
Right,
So
so
this is
that's
always
what we
gonna
don't
be a-
know is whose it is.
A conflict between the two parties.
Correct.
Because we have no idea
And
who it
Donnie has
belongs.
looked into it diligently to see who owns it, and I have as well, and there's nothing in writing saying who owns that 18, we just know
So
it's
he
an
can
easement.
stand there and throw wood the whole time, and if it hits me or anybody, I can have the
Are you always
sheriff's,
standing in the easement?
I'm mowing it, and, I mean, it's not a constant thing, but I've reported this, because he has people living in the house, and that's what's upset him. There's no foundation, there's, the supply line for the well is on top of the house. It's powered by a 14 gauge extension cord, and there's no fascia, there's no soffit, the roof's caving in, and I reported this,
And the health department's working on that?
I reported it to CPS and the health department, and I don't know where that issue stands right now.
Sometimes that paperwork takes a while.
That's why,
Government don't move fast, I learned that something up here. It
so
don't
things
move
were
fast.
quiet for a while because the health department made the previous tenants move, and when he had somebody else move in, there's 5 or 6 people there with little children right now, and that's part of the issue.
My understanding of the easement, Denny probably tell me if I'm wrong or not, is that people can use the easement to.
It depends on what the
To walk
easement
through or-
says, and the easement may be, only for the benefit of the abutting owners, or maybe for the benefit of the public. It depends on the,
And it don't say none that does it, Cameron?
That's what we've been searching for.
And it would only be if it was dedicated, then it would have to have been accepted by the county to be, under your jurisdiction as board. So it's not under the board's jurisdiction unless it was accepted by the board.
But who do I go for help then, because he's
Well-
escalated to,
It's a
This
civil
point.
matter, so, trespass sounds to me the best route to go, and posting your property to prevent the trespassing and catching and being able to document it would be your best way.
If you're getting documented on your property, you call the sheriff's department, you show
that's
the
what I've done
picture
every
that's-
time.
Well, you got pictures of him on your property that's dated and timed? You
No,
buy
I
trail
don't have,
cameras
I
for
don't
little
have the
nothing.
time to sit out there and take a picture
No, you
and,
buy you a cheap trail camera that takes the pictures automatically. Anybody on your property will take a picture of it. Then you take that SIM card and you download the photos and you show it to the sheriff's department, and he got his first warning. He does it again, he gets arrested for trespass. He goes to court, pays fine, whatever the judge gives him, does it again. After a while, he'll get tired of it. He'll get a lot of money. And he can do the same thing to you. But as an easement, I don't think we can do anything as the commissioners. Because it's not in our jurisdiction. I guess you just have to do your own research on it and see who
and
has to belong to.
that's what I've been doing, and I was recommended to bring it before the board today on what to do, and, I mean,
Right.
I don't know where else to go.
Since we don't own it, we can't tell you not to put anything there, we can't tell him to do anything, we have no control over it. It's not even area plan, I think your attorney's there, you guys don't have no control over any easement that's not documented. Oh, I'm sorry. So, I mean, you're kinda stuck in a rock and a hard place, you just have to take small bites at a time to get this accomplished. By just documenting every time he's on there, and turn it over to the police department. You know,
If you're just throwing wood at your house, then that's a complete, that's a civil law enforcement.
yeah, if he's, that's a misdemeanor, that can be charged as battery or something like that.
Okay,
So, I mean, if he damaged your car, did you turn it in?
yeah, Mitchell Captain was the deputy,
Okay,
and I can't remember the DNR official that was out there last weekend.
okay. But,
And that's what I said, I realized that is civil, but my main concern was the easement coming here today, that just lead up to why I was here. Hope to
Right.
have some answers for the easement, and
Yeah.
to try to get this resolved, because I don't want it to go any farther.
our apologies, we can't do nothing with the easement, because we don't know who owns it.
Okay.
So just buy you a cheap camera and post it up there, and make sure it's got the date and time on it, and you can turn that in every time it walks on your property,
Okay,
okay?
all right, thank you anyway.
Sorry, I couldn't help.
That's all right, thank you.
Northeast Picture back.
APC Director, Mr. Yates.
All right, thank you.
I know, I'll take one. They're pretty slick.
All right, I do appreciate your time though.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Morning.
Morning.
I just had one thing this morning, and it was, last month's APC, on September 24th, the board voted in favor, petition to rezone the property located at 950 North Monticello, 47960 Road, which is Chad and Kenny Crane. I'm not sure how you guys want to proceed today without Commissioner Brown here.
Alright. I think we're going to,
I like lines, there's one max.
the whole panel will make on that.
I think it's one is.
So we wanna make a motion.
So we'll make a motion to table this issue to, well, we all, yeah, it should be.
Okay, so I have a motion on the floor to table this one. I will second that motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. And then we'll see you next month.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
If you guys need anything as far as
Oh, yeah, later this month.
the information from the meetings and all that, I have everything.
Okay,
Okay?
alright, thank you.
You got it.
So we tabled it.
Yes. Alright, Lafayette Copier, Mr. Clark. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, gentlemen, how are y'all?
Wonderful.
Good. So as part of, what we do for you all is I go through the courthouse, sheriff's department, at least once a month and just kinda check in everybody, make sure they've got what they need, if they have any issues or anything along that line. In speaking with Cameron and Area Plan, they're having to go, they have a small black and white copier printer. And they have quite a bit of need for color, to the point where they're going over to the auditor's office, over 10 times a day, sometimes 15 times a day. So, the reason it says area plans, because that's where this started. When I was talking to Beth to get on the agenda for today's meeting, she said, you know, we had talked about some of the things that the auditor's office could use. And so what I'm gonna propose is that we take the colored copier that's in the auditor's office and put it in area plan. That would give them what they need, give Beth an upgraded, and her staff an upgraded copier that gives them some of the functions that they don't have now. Some of the things having to do with finishing, meaning when the paper comes out, things you can do there. And we'd also give them 11x17 options if they needed that, and upgraded scanning capabilities. So it would be a situation where it's sort of a win-win for both the offices. The auditor gets what they really truly need, area planning gets what they need, and then, everybody would be taken care of that
The
way.
one coming from the auditor's office, is that the one we own?
No, that one, it's gonna bite Gus soon, I mean, and he doesn't have that one,
We don't, that was
blocked.
not, that was a machine that they had before, when we started the deal, that we just kept there. It's now been paid for in essence, and it's in Beth's office, in her personal office. It's not far from becoming a boat anchor, to be perfectly honest about it. And I told her when it is through, I'll haul it away for you at no charge, and get it off of here. But that's not the one that we're speaking of.
Yeah, the one out there is really, not efficient for what the girls have to do every day.
It would be perfect for area plan, because their volume is just much less than what the auditor's office is going
If you're
through.
saying it's gonna bite the dust and you don't know when,
Well, I mean, but that will take the wear and tear off of it too, because they use it a lot.
Yeah, if they don't have to go over there, it saves them time, cause they get over here and maybe they have to wait for a minute because Tara or Mary Ann or someone's running a bunch of stuff. It would just be, so,
so what's the difference, is it gonna raise my budget,
just $149 a month.
are we good, are we covered in that? So you're good to go, are you alright with that getting that one?
I spoke with Cameron, he seems
That
like
one's
they
not
could.
under the contract, is it?
It is.
This one over
This
here.
one has that.
It wasn't replaced with the last round. Yeah, that was all.
Are you good with that?
Yeah.
As long as it stays within the budget?
Yeah, we stick with the budget. Is that, they have room there for it?
Yeah, I looked at their office, they can do that. Beth and I spoke about the budgetary situation, and she says we can do that easily. And we're not even coming close to taxing the whole thing, so, it would be well within where y'all want to be, for sure.
Do we need a motion?
I'll make the motion to extend,
Just changing, moving on and
moving the printer in the auditor's office. Concerning it.
uh-oh, what's your question on it?
Area plan usually runs its own budget, cause it's got its own tax rate, whatever, do we have to pay for our own insurance, their own insurance, and everything else, or?
He hasn't paid on that one, the commissioners pay the contract on the one he has now anyway. The only thing he does is
Okay,
pay
that's why
for
I
the
want to make sure we
copies.
need to do.
I think pay for the copies is what it is.
Well, I just want for budget purposes, what that's.
Right.
And we do that, there's a number of, offices, that we will bill separately because they're getting grants or however. And Beth just tells you how we need to do it, and we'll do it however you all need it to be done.
You pay for your copies now, right? I
Pay
believe,
for my color copies.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
and that's fine, we can bill that completely separately. Again, Beth will just let me know how she needs it to be, or Cameron, whomever, and we do that. That's, we do the child support, couple
Moving
other
that one
offices.
over there will last longer than it would be sitting in her office,
That's right.
cause you don't do as many. And are you charging for copies for people when they come in? to get copies and stuff.
Yes, there's an item for, they pay a fee for certain items, yes. And we use it a lot for Beacon. And you can put, Beacon in black and white, but then you can't see where you're drawing so it's something we use every day.
Right.
And I'm making a lot of trips over to the,
Well, the copy that he had up here on
Came
the
from
screen came from.
Yeah.
So you're paying for his copy?
Well, actually, back here,
back here, I'm not, up there I am.
up there, they are, yes.
So and that printer's about ready to go, so I try not to use hers in her office as much, because it's, like she said, it's old.
Dinosaur.
Yeah.
Matches the office.
Oh, thanks.
I'll move this printer over to the area plan and go with the police building.
Alright, so I have a motion to move the old copier from the auditor's office to the area plan and purchase a new high-speed one for the auditor's office, or whatever you wanna call it. We're not purchased, but
That's it.
Purchasing, leasing.
a lease program.
We've seen the new color multifunction. That's
We have a motion, I'll second, all in favor? Aye. Motion passed.
Thank you. I'll get with you, Beth, and you, Cameron, and on what's going on. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Great, thanks, Tom.
EMS director, Acumed contract. Is that time of year already?
Yeah, this is one that just ought to make a redo, because I had them look into it to see if we could save a little money, so they kind of renegotiated it. And really, the only thing in the contract that changes is our percentage of what we pay. We're paying 7.68% now on what they bring in, and I got that down to 7.5. So it'll be about a $2,000 savings over a year if we do the same amount of runs. So we just need to get that signed and back to them so they can go into that. Ted,
I have looked at it, yes.
Looked at it.
about if we do the same amount of runs.
Ed said he had reviewed it, I had looked at a few pages of it. I talked to you earlier, so with that being said, I'll move that we, endorse contract with Acumed going for services.
And this has saved us a lot of money too, hasn't it?
Yeah, their collections are better than what our old company was.
I'll second that motion. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Page 11, how many you need, two?
Two, probably, you need two. Make two.
Yeah.
And then you wanna keep them to go,
He can, he will.
his name's on there, I just did.
Yeah. Right, good.
Is that it? Anybody got any questions for Doug? Any issues? Full staff?
Yep, you're
Everything
full
running
staff,
good?
everything's going good right now.
How many runs you got running right now?
Last I looked, we were about 1450, so we're gonna be right on track for our 1700. It's been kinda good, it's been coming, and we'll be real busy for a week, and then if we get to the Bible, we'll do anything, and then get slammed again.
I know you've been over there next to my house for a young lady that had a lot of issues. So I appreciate your guys' service, everything you do. Anybody else got anything for Doug? Thanks, Doug. Community corrections, Mr. Fouts, I don't see him in the room. Oh, 10:25. Yeah, we are running ahead. But made up time. We can do other commissioners' actions, is that what you're saying? Alright. Lions Club contracts,
Should be in your packet. And that's from
agreement for voting.
the clerk.
Can you refresh my memory why we need this?
The Lions Club is going to move the W equipment for the election this fall.
And we did that.
We've done it before.
We've done it.
He renewed every time. I drafted the contract, it's the same one.
Are they taking responsibility if they break it? Because we got a lot of money invested in these things.
The no, it is not, they do not, they are not. They are not, it's not a bailment situation, they are not liable. In fact, we have them hold us harmless and indemnify us for, their damages, any liability claims, costs, damages, suits, judgments, including reimbursement of Carroll County's cost of defense in any manner arising out of club's performance of the services under this agreement. So, I mean, to do this, the only thing is the $450, which includes their mileage. So it's almost like it's really a community service. I think their members donate their. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, the county's covered, they can't claim, come back, one of them is injured, they're on their own for that. Or if they sustain any loss, but no, the equipment's at risk, when it's in transit. Yeah.
That's the other county.
Yes.
It should be. This has been done in the past, this is, basically the same contract.
I think I did my first time.
This one, here for a second one.
You're done with it?
I moved to the first contract with the lines from, what my lines are.
Here it is.
Moving the voting equipment.
All right, I have a motion to endorse the contract with Lions Club. I will second that. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes.
You've got a file down there, dude. Yeah.
One for Andrew, one for us, another one for the Lions Club. That'd be my idea. All right, Beth, up to you. What's this one? Insurance?
Insurance dates for proposals, last meeting you had stated that you wanted to get entertained proposals. I need to know what dates those would be. I've had 2, 3 insurance, I think calling in. We work with Star, who is the one that we've had right now, what was it? I've talked to one of you, and I can't remember which one, maybe it was one, that maybe we should have them on the October 21st, and then decision, they can propose them then, or state them, and then come back on November 4th for a decision, and that way we will be our renewal date by November 10th.
You good with that?
Time to look at them, and well, I will get that out today, so they will have that 2 weeks.
Who did the motion for that?
Those dates.
You've already indicated you're gonna do it, so I don't think so.
Okay. So, anybody out there is interested, we got them by the 21st, we'll review them, and we'll vote on them in November.
The next one, is set joint session date with the council. We had something set this afternoon at 4:30, and it had to be canceled because some of the council members could not be there. I met with them last week on budgets, and we had a public hearing, so I just asked them what date might be good for them, and by consensus, I think they said, I believe, October 28th at 4:30.
That's a Monday.
It's a Monday afternoon.
Are you available then? You probably be available, shouldn't you?
Well, maybe, yeah, well, do it again.
Is that what you want? I mean, I think you're.
Well, actually, I want to do it Friday, Tuesday.
We have to check with Bill to see if we could be here also. next one is the appointment to the Public Defender Commission. The circuit court had asked me to, I'm gonna put something in your folders about,
Public defender.
Public Defender Commission. It's a letter that now that they have to be appointed and by certain ones and certain people cannot be. They gave me a couple of names and I've asked both of them so we could be prepared today. Dick Bradshaw and Penny Titus both said that they would if selected. This one, there was a couple more people on there.
What is this board do? Can't recall.
They look over the claims for, I actually don't know either, it says here, I know they do sign off on claims and things like that, they meet 4 times a year. It would start, and it would be a 3-year, I believe a 3-year term. Here.
Yeah, I see it right there. Now, will this change since it's a new thing, the $25 per meeting? Will that go in effect on this since they're being appointed?
I'm not sure if they,
Or is it
I don't know
volunteer
whether they
basis?
are compensated. I think it's more, volunteer, but I really am not sure. I don't remember that being in the budget. Josh, do you remember the public? I don't either. I think it's a volunteer. Neither one of them asked me if they got paid, so I wouldn't be buckling.
Who was the first one?
Dick Bradshaw and the other one was Penny Titus.
How does it decide? You got a quarter? So starting after today, it will be a 3-year contract, for service 3 years. Now, the next question, since Penny's elected official, did she sit on the board?
Yes, I know that, the court had to appoint someone too, and there's this committee pay.
Okay.
And there's another one that was appointed, was Bill Rupp. That's the only thing, that's actually all I know of.
Does that have to be done right away?
Established July 1st, 2019.
The judges here, one of the judges.
Public Defender Commission, how soon do you need that person on the board, Mr. Cox?
I'm slightest idea. That's in Judge Diener's, yeah, that's one of the things that his court takes care of, so.
Probably not. And say advertise it, anybody else would be interested?
I just thought we had 2 people going, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say, good luck.
Maybe somebody else has interest, so.
Karen Allen would be the most knowledgeable person about that.
She's the one that called me and asked me to get this on the agenda. So,
So basically, they want us to make a decision. Okay.
either one will not be upset if they are not picked either. I mean,
When do they meet, did they say?
I think they meet on a Friday. They're subject to the open door law, and they give adequate notice.
During the day meeting?
Wait, that's the Community Corrections Board that meets on Friday.
yes. I think they have to
Well,
do
yeah,
that.
we
Yeah.
meet normally
Any-
a Friday at 11.
Appointed board,
Yeah,
they have to do that.
not
Yes, subject to that.
that'd be weird.
That would be weird.
Right. Usually, she'll take away from her job, and then you got Nate Cage, will be away from her job there and same thing, so get 2 officers out there.
And that would probably be one of them. I think they should, here, keep it in office.
Keep her
I don't believe it takes that long, but they go over the claims, I do know, they sign off on them, and then Karen does most of the work and puts it together. They bring it down, she files it and bring it down here, we put it in a file, we get the money. That's all I know. Cause I'm not in on it, so.
I agree with what you said. Alright, Mr. Fouts,
Okay, you know why I'm here.
community corrections.
That's
Lots of
right.
Space,
We need space. We've needed space. I feel like I gotta come to every meeting.
I know, I have not heard anything from probation, what they're needed in the,
Okay, I will have that meeting today.
Would you please?
With you and probation. Let me just explain that we had to go to a meeting on Friday. We got dragged down to Indianapolis because there's a whole new program that we're gonna be required to do on evaluating people pre-trial when they get arrested. It's gonna require probably that the board of the Community Corrections Department serve as the board for that. So Community Corrections isn't going away. We're interviewing people this afternoon. They're sending us $168,000 a year, probably plus another 60 this year. I don't think it's too much to ask. Again,
Right.
if you don't want us to be in the courthouse, then no one's ever told us that. Everybody's always told us, oh no, don't waste a bunch of money, which we didn't have back then, and we still probably don't, on an office space. But 3 years, I mean, I could have built 4 houses in this amount of time.
I agree.
Like actual houses from the ground up, in the amount of time that it's taken for us to get this done. And then, we were talking about 6 months before it started, so for goodness sakes, this is not requesting lightning action here, this is something that needs to be done. And so if you all wanna meet with me today, that's fine, I'm here, all the time. Somebody told me that Shagley was down there looking at the place with one of you guys, cause I'd asked about that. Yeah, I thought,
It's just not as simple, it's just throwing some walls and putting doors on, it's not that simple.
it's not that simple, but it didn't 3.5 years hard.
Right, I understand that.
Yeah,
well, then I'll ask you to take over the project of getting it set up down there since you're the community corrections guy.
that's fine, if you guys want
If you
me
can
to
get us some
go
estimates.
down there and draw some walls,
If you can get it.
We'll get her done.
If you get her designed and get me an estimate, and we'll go to the council, cause there was money put back for it.
I know.
So let's just, I've been trying to get going for the last few months, but no one's.
So you'll let
come back.
me and Mr. Shagley go down there, is there somebody you've been working with?
No, I went upstairs to talk to Shane.
Is this one where we can just get anybody, or do you have to bid it?
I'd probably like to bid it first and see what we can come up with, or maybe somebody local, we got one right here. in
I was gonna
front of us.
say, can I just go down there with Watson and draw some lines, or what?
Yeah, he-
Probably Watson, he doesn't do any contract work, so.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well,
So, yeah, you come up with a plan, what you think you need down there for probation and community corrections, cause you're in charge of community corrections.
I didn't know, I'm not, I'm just on the board, I'm
You're
just
the
one vote.
president,
I'm just one vote.
so
All right.
if you can come up with that and bring it back to me,
You'll have it by the end of the week.
Actually,
All right,
dimensions and.
if you have it for us the 21st, all 3 of us should be here, then we'll see if we can get something
probably need
going.
it a few days in advance.
All right.
Okay, done.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Nope. Good luck.
All right. We're still 5 minutes ahead, but,
Did you say he's gonna have that?
yeah,
And he's supposed to get the, like a drawing
Yeah.
and plans?
plans and an estimate and all that good stuff. All right. George? Can you pronounce your last name for me?
Everybody has to do that. Talia.
Talia.
So,
And if I misspelled anything, I'm sorry.
oh, it's fine.
Did I?
I've been alive for 48 years of people not being able to pronounce my name, so it's no big deal at this point.
Good day. Thank you. You want one big one, Bill? So set it right there. We got one.
So I want to thank you for your time today. I'm here